Steve Andrews is giving a voice to the voiceless and taking the powerful to task. Now, 8 on Your Side investigates.
A federal court rules the VA got it wrong when it deprived tens of thousands of Vietnam veterans the benefits that they deserve. And this is big news out of Washington, D.C. today. A federal court of appeals ruling that Navy veterans of the Vietnam War are absolutely entitled to the same benefits as those who fought on the ground.
Now, this affects between 50 and 90,000 Navy veterans who the VA excluded from receiving Agent Orange medical and disability benefits before. 8 on Your Side senior investigative reporter Steve Andrews tells us they were excluded simply because they were on ships. And this is something you've been fighting for a long time.
Yeah, the VA claims that these veterans were not exposed as they patrolled on these ships along the Vietnam coast. According to the court, baloney. For nearly 20 years, the VA presumed that members of the military who served on the ground during the Vietnam War were exposed to the dangerous herbicide called Agent Orange. Agent Orange killed and made ill thousands of service members. The VA provided medical care and disability benefits to those who developed diseases linked to the toxic weed killer. However, it excluded 90,000 Navy veterans like Mike Caventis of Newport Richey, who served along the coast of Vietnam in the country's territorial waters, claiming they weren't exposed.
We've been fighting them since 2001.
Give us our benefits!
Blue Water Navy veterans argue Agent Orange ran into rivers and streams, ending up in Vietnam's bays and harbors. Their ships pulled in that water for drinking, bathing, cooking. Distillation systems didn't eliminate Agent Orange, they enhanced it. Mike Caventis has 3 diseases tied to the toxic herbicide. A federal appeals court in Washington ruled the VA was wrong to exclude those veterans. Former Navy commander, now Attorney John Wells, fought the VA in Congress and the courts.
Well, it feels very good. I mean, we've been fighting for this for 8 years.
The court pointed out the Agent Orange Act, as passed, includes active military, naval, or air service in the Republic of Vietnam. It found that the Republic of Vietnam, like all sovereign nations, included its territorial sea. John Wells says the fight doesn't end here.
We have the Guam bill coming up, and we have general toxic exposure. We're looking at millions of veterans exposed to various forms of toxic exposure. We can't stop with Blue Water Navy. This is just the first step.
Now, this case involved a sailor who served aboard the USS Intrepid during the war. He's since developed diabetes and prostate cancer, 2 diseases linked to Agent Orange exposure. The VA denied his claim, saying he didn't step foot in Vietnam, therefore he wasn't eligible. But the court said Congress' intent was very clear here when it decided to, or when it passed the Agent Orange Act back in 1991, saying cover those who served in the Republic of Vietnam, and of course the territorial waters include.
The VA, they've been after this they've been fighting it for years. I mean, I can't imagine how much money, our money that's been spent trying to fight this battle. You think they'll appeal this one and keep the fight going?
They can. They have a course here. They can appeal this ruling to the U.S. Supreme Court. John Wells is confident the Blue Water Navy veterans would prevail in the U.S. Supreme Court. And the smart one, he says they won't, but when's the last time they did anything smart over at the VA? You know?
All right, well, thank you, Steve.
Good for you. I know this is a development you've been waiting for.
Yeah, we're real pleased for these folks.
And if you have a problem you want Steve to investigate, call our 8 on Your Side helpline, 1-800-338-0808.